What's up? Can you hear me? Question mark? Golly. Well, Happy New Year! We're getting the scuff one out of the way, as they say. And by they, I mean me. It's just me. Hi guys, welcome in. Hello, benighted. Congratulations on being right. And hello, Berendi. Happy New Year to you both. Happy New Year to the lurkers. Happy New Year to the chatters. Happy New Year to all the zesty besties. I'm moving really slow. But that's okay, that's how it goes. I have a theory, actually. What if we get rid of that guy? Ooh. Some mobility returneth. That's cool. Hi. I am back. It's been a while. I didn't stream almost all of, December. Kinda crazy. Hence why we are having our Christmas now. I deserve to be able to still have Christmas. Yeah, it's been a long time. Hold on. I'm playing a game, but I'm also doing some troubleshooting, because this is my first stream in, like, a pretty long time. So I'm just, I'm checking the stats. Okay, yeah, that's probably, I mean... yeah, I think this is pretty good considering. I've got OBS open and peak, which is pretty dang cool. But yeah, welcome. For those of you who have been here for at least a year, you will recognize this outfit, because I wore it last year, and I really like it because the hat goes... It's a good outfit, and I enjoy it, and I'm gonna keep using it because I like it. But yeah, it is now 2026, and I'm very sick. I wanted to play Peak, and I decided that it would be a nice opportunity to catch up with you guys and, you know, get a sneaky little first stream of the year in there when no one really expects it, so I can fiddle with the settings. Oh my goodness, hi Tiny. We love the peak emotes. Also, I don't know why SariBot automatically put my chat in emote only mode, but I think I turned that off now. So if you guys want to say stuff, you can. And I will be investigating why Sari thinks they have the authority to do that. They do not. I have given them no permissions. But yeah, I had to check a lot of settings from my last quote-unquote stream. Because I think the last stream of the year was my very desperate and pathetic go live asking you guys to watch the women in gaming showcase that I really wanted to watch with you guys, but I was so sick. Yeah. Last year, was the year where my friends abandoned me and my health beat me up. So it was kind of crazy. But I made a lot of new friends, and I powered through the health challenges. And now I'm here, a new lemon. I'm like a phoenix, except like the plant version. And I've grown anew. And I shouldn't say it that way. because of some of the stuff I went through last year, it feels very easy to be, like, downer about it. But that was such a small part of the year. It was really, significant, so it stands out. Lemon! Hi, Ruby! Ah! Yeah, don't you like this outfit? It's so cute. I'd show you the whole outfit, but I actually updated my, keyboard because I was having a lot of issues and it was stressing me out. And I got a new one that I really like, minus a few features, but it's missing the number pad. It's like a shorter keyboard, and the number pad was what I was using for all of my hotkeys. So right now I cannot move my model except laboriously, and I don't want to do that because of other things I set up later. I forgot them legs. Them legs? The Padoru dude doesn't even have legs. What do you mean legs? I don't need legs. When I'm in the room, all keys are hot. That's a new one. I miss being hot. I was in Florida and it was warm and I was having a wonderful time. I was moisturized, glowing in my lane. And then for my last few days in Florida, the temperature dropped dramatically to like 50 degrees and I was freezing and I was upset. Because I don't know if this is like, I don't know the meteorology behind this. Like the science, but I feel like being cold in Florida is worse than being cold in places that aren't normally cold, because Florida is really like humid, so then the cold is like a wet cold. I don't know if that's a real thing, but it felt like that, and I was miserable, and I drank a lot of hot chocolate, so I probably gained a lot of weight, but it's okay because I had a fun time, and I took pictures of cheddar and I put them on Twitter if you want to see them. Hashtag say cheddar. Yeah, I had a good vacation. So my December, my whole fall was spent going to physical therapy for my shoulder. The results of which I still don't know what was wrong with it. And I have since forth done none of the things they told me to do now that my excursion with physical therapy has ended. I've just changed up my sleeping position, and wouldn't you know it, that has really been effective in keeping away the issues I was having with my shoulder. So I think I paid a lot of money for nothing in a sense, which is fun. But I did learn a lot of things about my hypermobility while I was in physical therapy, so that's actually really useful, and I'm glad for that. I just wish I wasn't out like $500 plus for that experience, where I didn't really learn what was wrong with my shoulder. And now I have to sleep like a board. Like how my VTuber model doesn't, the arms don't move when I'm not using my mocap. I have to sleep like that, just... And if I don't sleep like that, then when I wake up, my shoulder hurts. So, you know, we're going through it. So then that was my physical therapy, and then that took me through like most of like September, October, November. No, it was like October into November I was dealing with that. Well, I was dealing with it since like the summer, the issue, and then I was like going to the doctor and be like, hey, my shoulder hurts, and they were like, that's cool, what do you want us to do about it? And I was like, I want you to fix it, and they were like, that's cool, we don't know what's wrong. And I was like, well, isn't that your job? And they were like, not really, you're supposed to tell us. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not a medically qualified individual? And they were like, well, it's your body, you figure it out. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's your job, you figure it out. And then I did all these tests, and But it's fine. Like, you know, that's the American medical system at work, and it's wonderful. So yeah, that's cool. And then in like the end of November, maybe the beginning of like October, like the end of October into November, I started taking a new medication because my periods are really bad and I always have to take off of work, and I'm trying to be a responsible adult and like not have to take off of work all the time. So I went to my women's health doctor and I was like, hey, I feel like I'm dealing with an exorbitantly painful situation, and I would like to not do that so I could be a functioning human being more than just like 1 week of the month. And she was like, word, bet. We can do something about that. And then she prescribed me a prescription that I started taking that she told me would make my periods less bad. And instead, it made my very next period last for like a month. And I'm not even joking. I was bleeding every day for like 25 days. And it was horrible, and I didn't want to do anything except sleep and cry and eat chocolate. And so but I still had to go to work. So yeah, that was horrible. And then I tried to keep contacting my women's health provider because I was like, hey, this is kind of doing the opposite of what I wanted to do and what you told me it would do. And they were like, well, we can make it stronger. And I was like, is that going to fix the problem? And they were like, we don't know. So I said, maybe let's not do that. Because their answer to everything is like, well, it takes time to settle in your body. And then we can see what your specific symptoms are. And so yeah, I'm rapidly losing faith in any medical quote-unquote professionals that I have accessed recently because they don't know shit! And I've just been going through it for that reason. But yeah, that was awful, and so I apologize for the lack of streams, like, into the beginning of winter, because I just could not function. I was very not myself. And then that brought us to, like, the end of December. And at that point, I was actually getting sick and preparing to go on vacation. And then I went on vacation. And my vacation was lovely. And I had no issues, except for being really, really cold at the end of it, which was a big issue, and I hate it. But now, I'm home. And I'm trying. I told you guys on Discord that this year I want to be more ambitious and I want to do more stuff. So I'm trying to just stream, even if I don't really feel like it. Like, I'm really sick right now, actually. I got really sick. Hold on. I think I actually need to not talk so much soon because I'm making my throat hurt. But I got really sick on the way back home, because I think I was just around too many sick people and waiting in lines with sick people for too long in the amusement parks we visited, which is our scam. You stand in line for like 2 hours to get on a ride that lasts 5. What do you do at amusement parks? You don't do amusing things, you stand in lines. That's what you do at amusement parks. Like 90% of the stuff we did at the amusement park was just standing in lines. Rigged. It was okay, though. It was fine. It was just that it was cold, and I was upset about that. Oh! Okay. But yeah, so I want to be more ambitious this year, and I want to get back to regular schedules and make content and do things. So I'm thinking about my schedule for this week. And I want to fit in at least my regular 3 streams. I'm thinking it might be Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. I don't know if we're going to jump back into Final Fantasy anytime soon, which I know is what I've been doing on Sundays. But I just haven't been feeling the draw to Eorzea lately. So I think tentatively, anyone who's here is going to get the lowdown a little bit early before I try to release some kind of schedule. But I think on Tuesday, we're going to do an art stream. And then on Wednesday, not Wednesday, on Thursday, we might play Overwatch, is what I think I want to do. But I haven't played Overwatch in a long time either. And I want to do that. And then next Sunday, I might just kind of leave it open. I think I might end up making my Sunday streams for this year, tentatively, be kind of TBA streams, where we just kind of get to the day and then I tell you what I'm doing, so that I can leave it kind of free for just whatever I want and not feel like I made promises and then like have to play something I don't really want to play. So I think what we're going to do is, for my sanity, I will schedule concrete, this is what I'm doing streams for during the week, and then on Sundays it's going to be my free day, my middle of the bingo card free space day, when I just do whatever I want. And my goal for right now is just to be consistent. I had a bunch of other goals. I don't know if I shared them in Discord. I need to post those. Yeah, I need to make a couple posts in Discord, things I'm supposed to be doing. But, yeah, my main goal in 2026 is to be as consistent as possible, and then I have some other bonus, like, fun goals, like things I want to accomplish. Because being as consistent as possible doesn't feel like a goal, it feels like a chore. So, like, for my chores for 2026 are be consistent, actually pay attention to analytics, you know, like back-end stuff. And then my fun goals are like, I want to make more art. I want this to be the year I do like art stuff. So I feel like you're going to start seeing a lot more art streams from me. I don't know if that's like the vibe we're going for, but that's kind of how I'm feeling. I want to get back into making my VRoids stuff. I was having fun doing that, and I haven't done that in a while. And I'm like really behind on my gaming list, so I think we're gonna slowly unpack that. But yeah, in an effort to be more consistent, whenever I don't feel good, I think I'm just gonna play Peak. And so that's what we're doing today, because I don't feel good. So, let's check out the mountain, shall we? And then I might stop talking for a little while. Like, it might be some slow, some spread out commentary, just because I think this is the longest I've talked in a row since getting really sick from like Friday. Ugh. But thank you for being here. I hope you guys have had a wonderful holiday season, whichever holidays you celebrate in particular. And I'm looking forward to having a really good year of the horse with you. It's gonna be great. Let's do it. Also, I hope you enjoy all of the Christmas stuff we're flaunting right now. Because like I said, I'm not gonna penalize myself for being sick, so I'm gonna enjoy all the Christmas stuff like I am owed. And speaking of Christmas stuff, all the Christmas stuff is still up in Peak. So we're theming. No, we're just appropriately themed. Is what's going on. But yeah, I also posted on Twitter that this is my game of the year. I've been really impressed with the devs, Agrocrab and Landfall. Land Crab. They put a lot of work into this game, and I'm so impressed with it. And I had so much fun playing this game and doing art and stuff for this game last year. So, we're probably going to be playing a lot more of this game. And there's so many people I want to play this game with. Like, I want to do more collab. I want to say I want to do more collabs this year, but that's so hard because my health is really fickle sometimes. And so I'll set stuff up and then I won't feel good, and then it'll be like the worst thing ever. Because then I'll feel like I'm letting people down to just be like, oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, and Don't worry about the lack of a boarding console right here, because I'm using some mods right now. My speedrunning mods. And that puts the kiosk right at the elevator, so you don't have to, if you're trying to speedrun, you don't have to run all the way down there. Now that the speedrun starts here, it just makes it easier to do that. So yeah, that's just personal preference thing that I do, but yeah, right now we are in the holiday version of the game, which is very cool. If you like that kind of stuff. I actually don't like this update because I don't like snow. I like experiencing snow from afar. Ooh, balloon. I like experiencing snow from afar. Ooh, actually, yes, please. This is a good loadout. Golly. Yeah, so I haven't played this mountain yet today. I'm excited. See what's in store. Those snow piles, you could dig into them and get snowballs and throw them at people, which is fun. I'm trying not to. Ooh, that was probably good. I took a big hit last year when I wasn't able to get my speed run officially recognized because I didn't get the notification from speedrun.com that the rules had changed. That really sucked. So I'm still looking for my perfect speed run. That's still something I want to do. Uh-oh. It's fine, we lived. And my process for speed running is just I like to play the mountain of the day and see how eligible it is for a speedrunning mountain. Because I can kind of just tell when it's going to be a good mountain for speedrunning based on how easily you can get through certain areas and such. One thing I haven't enjoyed about some of the new updates is that I feel like some of the mouse controls got a little clunkier, which isn't my favorite. Okay, that was good. I don't know if we really needed to, like, fill up there, but theoretically it'll make my life easier. But yeah, so far this has the potential to be a good speedrunning mountain because it stacks you with items immediately, which is always good for a speedrun. Because these mountains rarely are fully climbable quickly without an item. So, generally speaking, if you want to climb fast, there's a cost. Oh, buddy. What am I doing? That was not what I wanted to click at all. Excuse me. So that was a mistake, because I forgot what key this thing was on. But that's fine, because we're not really worried about it. I'm just severely injured. Phew. I think I'll take that. Okay, let's see if we can't still make some progress, despite my silliness. If I shoot this there, will it do nice things? Swing to me, baby. Yeah, that's nice. I'm not liking being injured. I normally don't go for health packs in this game just because I'm usually very careful. But at this point in time, it would have been nice. I'm being a little bold right now. I don't care. I don't care. That was a pretty nasty mistake right at the beginning. That's when I would like reset, you know what I mean? Like runs over. Reset. Woo, doggy. Don't touch the spiny guy. But yeah, usually I want to be up to the peak before nighttime, so this is not ideal by any means. I didn't die, so that's cool. I effed around and no one made me find out, so we're winning. Basically. No? Yeah, so this mountain, this run, I'm really just, this is my intelligence run. To see if this is going to be a good mountain for speed running. Oh. And I like it. I think this is a good mountain. I think it has a lot of potential as a speed running mountain. Not with this much damage. Not ideal. Hi, Jay! The altituding started off rough, but we're making it work. Oh, that's good. Probably need that. How are you doing, Jay? Happy New Year. Ooh, this is also really good. We have the tropics. Cause you all know what I like to say. The roots biome is not it for speed runs. Oops. We lived. It's fine. Ooh, keep that. Yeah. But yeah, welcome in. Hi guys. Long time no see. Long time no see. Long time no see. I love you. 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 Ooh. I lived. Okay, how shall we make our ascent today? I don't have a lot of great items, but I do have an opportunity to get some here. So let's see if we find anything that will help us plan out a good route. I think I need an item refresh, so I might go the this way. I like it better when there's a vine that gets you onto this cliff. But that doesn't seem to be the case today. Let's just see what's here. You know, take it slow. Don't be wasteful. I think I can climb this. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Also, don't forget, guys, if you're working on speedruns in the good year of 2026, remember that you can't have any of your, if you're streaming while you're trying to get speedruns, you can't have your overlay blocking your game UI. Everything's gotta be properly visible. Also, this feels like a mountain I was doing yesterday, so I'm wondering if I'm still within the time of yesterday's mountain, because this feels very familiar. Hi, Ridley! Happy New Year! It's good to see you. I was thinking of you recently, and I don't remember why, I confess. But I'm glad to see you. I hope that you have had a good holiday season. And that, actually, let's eat that. And then let's take that back out of my bag. Yeah. And that, you are going into this new year hopeful. Hopeful new year. Yeah, I feel like that should be the greeting from now on. Not like Happy New Year, like Hopeful New Year. I hope this new year gonna be a good one, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? There's a stark lack of chests up here. But yeah, I feel like this is a mountain I did yesterday. Whoa, it's still here. Maybe it has more potential than I originally thought. Yeah, welcome in, guys. Merry Christmas. We're having Christmas here because I didn't get to have Christmas with you guys, so we're doing the fun stuff now. You know. I think I want... Yeah. Get over here to the trees. Before it starts raining. There it is. Ollie. Hate the rain so much. The rain is horrible. Horrible, horrible. Just let me up. Let me up. Yeah, it's been good. You just got back from staying with family. You got back yesterday and bummed around, but now you got cleaning groceries and stuff. You think you created a new species of life form in your shower? Golly, that's gross. Okay, well. I mean, congratulations? Question mark? Ollie, this is a tall tree trunk. Focus, focus it. Yeah, I don't know if... Also, there's another glitch I've been experiencing where, like, the items don't appear to be clickable, and that's very frustrating. But we're making it work. It's working. But yeah. Glad everyone's travels went well. And that you're all back home safely. I think this actually is a good speedrun mountain. I'm not gonna lie. It has potential. I think it's the same one I did yesterday. I wasn't looking at the timer when I booted it up. Ooh. Thank you. So I don't know how many hours left are on this mountain. When I did yesterday, it was like, there's 21 hours left of this mountain. I was like, oh. Stellar. Yeah, this one doesn't suck. I mean, the next biome on it is not the ideal one that I like for speedruns. But it's not bad. But yeah, for anyone just joining, I was kind of going over some of my plans for the new year. You're probably going to see a lot more art content. Just because that's what I've been feeling lately. I got the creative bug. A lot of people do the majority of their creating via their comedy. And I was doing that to a point. But now I want to create some actual, like, art. So I want to get back to doing that. I have acquired the means to start a VGen shop, which I'm very excited about. And I will be seeing where that leads me this year. And yeah. Okay, where am I? Is this a bad place to be? Kind of. That was bad. Ooh. I lived, though. Okay, so we don't want to go that way. That's a nah. At what shop? Huh? The online platform VGen. For, art commissions. I want to make people art and get paid to do it. Oh! Mind the fart bomb. But I haven't set it up yet, so there's nothing to go find. Because I, just got back home from my travels, and I've been kind of sick. And I wanted to say hi to you guys before I really delved into, like, the business of stuff. I mean, as much as I can. But yeah, my shop is probably gonna have commissions for, custom VRoid outfits. That's a thing I like doing. Some your character here, kind of scuff doodly art. I've been liking making those recently. Maybe some like GFX stuff, like schedule templates, or like model reveal graphics, or what's it called? Reference sheets. Not ones that I color, mind you, ones that I do the composition for. 'Cause I'm not that good at art. But yeah, I'm just very excited. I think that if you guys are... Come on. If you guys are finna be along for the ride, it's gonna be fun. You got sick after you arrived back at your parents' house, so this time you're going back, you masked up. That's a really good idea. I probably should have done that when I was at the theme park. The only thing is, though, like... Oh my goodness. Hello, good morning, Danny. Or whatever your time zone is. Thanks for joining. Sorry you're tired. Hope you had happy holidays. The only thing about wearing masks for me is that the masks do reduce some of, like, the exposure you can get to sickness. Oh, Lord. Another one. But they mostly mitigate harm to other people. So for a mask to be truly effective, the people who are sick need to be wearing them. So while wearing a mask can mitigate some of the sickness you can run into, it's not as effective as one would think, which is too bad. Which is why when it comes down to, like, wearing masks, I mostly just wear them when I'm sick, not to not get sick, because that doesn't really do a lot, unfortunately. And that's why, I think that's the misconception of, like, why nurses and doctors wear masks at hospitals. It's not really to protect them. I mean, it does protect them from, like, bodily fluid splatter. So if you're afraid of people just, like, fucking snotting on you and coughing on you, then yeah, that's a good idea. But it's, like, as far as I know, doctors and nurses wear masks to protect their patients from their germs. Because that's really what the mask does. And that, I don't know why there's, like, this huge misconception in society of, like, what the point of a mask is. So, like, now I would wear one because I am sick. Paper cuts? No! They do. Here, doctors only wear masks during procedures. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not... It's to keep their germs off of the patient, really. Yeah. Because in the US, people are all like, this mask isn't going to help me. And it's like, yeah, because that's not what it's for. It's the mask on the other person that helps you. You're wearing it to protect them. And they're wearing theirs to protect you. So if the sick people don't mask up, it's kind of useless. Golly. Finally got rid of all my hurdy McGurdy. Woo. Soenia. But yeah, that sucks getting sick, like, on your break because of other people's negligence. That really sucks. And I was coughing a lot while I was at the theme parks, but I know it's because I tend to cough. I get a really bad cough when I'm cold. But there were definitely people there that were just straight up sick and did not care. You bought Peak, but you're too lazy to try playing it? Bah! I've been thinking of if there's a way for me to do like a community day with Peak. Like just whoever wants to jump into a lobby with me. But the thing that makes me not choose certain games to be community games is when I have to specifically like be friends with the people on Discord to invite them to my game. And I can't just like get a room code because like certain games, I think that whatever that crab game is, I think that one like produces a room code you could just put in chat and be like, join my game. But when I need to specifically friend people on Steam for them to be able to join my game, it gets too complicated. And then I don't like doing it. And not even like it has nothing to do with me like not wanting to be friends with certain people. It's more just like I would want everyone to be able to play, and it would take so freaking for longer to get everyone friend request it. Like it would just be, I've seen people do it and I'm like, more power to you, because I don't want to. I'm not feeling it. It's too much work. So people who want to do that, streamers who set that up and like want to figure that out, that's great. If I had a bunch of mods that like the mod would friend request people and then I would just have the mod add them to the game, that would be cool. Sworn got both now, room code and Discord invites. That's good to know. Yeah, because that's my preference for like community game type stuff. I don't really like doing community game stuff where I gotta friend people on Discord. Which I'm not Discord, Steam. Which unfortunately makes things like golf with your friends really hard to play. Because it specifically says, you know, it says golf with your friends. Like, I get it. But when you're trying to do a community night, it really, like, nerfs the ability to play that game. This area is really easy to do if you have a chain launch. But I don't this time around. See, that's the thing you do, guys. When you find a good speedrun mountain, you start thinking about what items you need to make the mountains more seamless, and then you start hoarding them early on. I think I need to go over here. Yeah. Was it easier to do room codes than Discord? Yeah. That's what I keep saying Discord and I mean Steam, but yeah, I think we're talking about the same thing. And it's not the power of laziness. It's not a laziness thing. It's a time taken is not well spent thing. Because if it was like pre-organized and everyone knew what was going on, then it's like you just take the time. You know, it's not a big deal. But when it's like you want to do community games and you don't know which community members will show up, then you gotta wait for people. Like, it just makes it this big waiting process for everyone, and it's not fun. Like, that's not good content. So I don't like doing that because it just ends up being laborious. Like the effort put in is not worth the turnout. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to really not... I'm trying to be more... less generous with my energies, I guess I want to say. And more selective with the things I'm willing to, like, put out for. So that I have maximum energy for the stuff that's actually worth doing. So I do plan on doing more, like, community game night kind of themed stuff. But it will be more games like... Scriblio, where we can just join based off of like a room code, and we don't have to do this whole like Steam Friends thing because that just takes too long. That's too unpredictable. It takes too long. Anyone could just join a room code. You know what I mean? Easier, better use of our time together, so that we can have more fun, having fun instead of like waiting for people to join a game. This is human-made slop, peak dev. See, the thing about that is there's been a lot of discourse that I've seen around the term friend slop, and some developers seem really offended by it. And I like that the peak devs are not offended by that terminology, because I personally use that terminology positively. I like the term friend slop because I think it like accurately depicts something that's like simple to be simple, and we're not going to overthink it. And it's just, the point is just to like have a good time with your friends. So I don't think that term is bad. And the people who get all butthurt over it like slop is implying that, you know, the devs didn't work hard on it, and you know, it's erasing all of the love put into the game. I don't think so at all. Because I'm pretty sure we could call some of our favorite meals slop, and we still love those. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we should be so hard on the term slop. Like, I use that affectionately, for sure. We say sloppy joes, and that's like a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? I don't know why we're hating all of a sudden on the word slop. Usually the streamers let that for a mod to do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have a lot of mods right now. I think I actually only have one mod in circulation. And he's kind of busy, and we're not really in the same time zones. I basically mod people that are, I think, understand the importance of the role, and that I trust to like have control over stuff on my stream. But unfortunately, so far, those people that I trust the most just aren't available when I'm like up and kicking, and that's totally fine. Being a mod for me is like an unpaid position, you know what I mean? So there's no expectations that people actually show up. But at some point, it would be nice to have mods that are kind of just all the ways around. But I really only want to mod, I would have to, it's not something I could just do lightly. I would have to set up applications and like look at people's credentials, because I really want people who have some form of experience, you know, have references I can check, like they've modded for other people, and I can be like, hey, you know, is this person a good mod? Like, I really don't want to. I've had bad experiences with modding people and then having them kind of just do whatever they wanted, and that wasn't that wasn't what I wanted them to do. So I want to be a little bit more choosy. You used to be a mod for someone and then you quit after 2 months, Danny. I have a lot of fun modding. I think modding is a fun job. You do have to pay attention though. And then there's all this stuff, like someone I mod for, they ended up in a situation recently with a noted nefarious gifter. People who like gift subs and then do chargebacks and end up costing the streamer money and shit. And I didn't like notice. I didn't remember. Luckily they were collabing with someone who was like on top of that shit, and they were like, hey. And then the mod, we took care of it. But you know, that's like scary. That didn't go that high at all. Oh well, you take what you can get. I didn't get much. I'll tell you right now. I did not get much. Minecraft streamer, bunch of kids on chat. Oh, I would never do that. I already work with kids for my 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving up my 9 to 5, my after 9 to 5 to more children. No, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. I mod for like 3 people right now, maybe? It was more, but some people just became really inactive, so I'm not modding for them anymore. We kind of drifted apart. And I really only mod for people I know. I actually feel really good because I got a mod callback. Like, I applied to be a mod for somebody I really admire and, like, don't have personal connections to, but they were looking for mods from their, like, long-term community members. And I was like, oh my god, it's me. I can do that. And I didn't get selected, and I was like, you know what, fair. I wouldn't select a random stranger from my chat either, to be honest. But I got a call back, and they were like, hey, do you still want to be a mod? And I was like, yeah! So that's probably my biggest accomplishment of 2025 was proving I was worthy to one of my Oshis enough so that they would mod me. Because that's kind of crazy, though. But yeah. If you try to get buddy and with your Oshis, just like expecting things from them or like thinking you're gonna be able to play games with them, just like stop what you're behind, because nobody likes that behavior. Nobody likes that. Don't be that guy. I am out of goodies. No goodies for me. But yeah, being a mod is like an important job. And one of the reasons I unmodded somebody, because they were perfectly competent to be a mod, but they took the liberty because in their own streams they really let their mods, you know, just do whatever they wanted. But I wasn't like that. And they would shout out some of our mutual friends when they would pop into the chat, which is like totally cool and stuff. But that... Wah! Scorpion threw himself at me. That ended up becoming an aggravating situation because then it really started appearing like favoritism when some of my friends would show up that they didn't know and wouldn't get shouted out automatically. And all these other people would just automatically get shouted out. Like, it just, I'm like, you can't just do that. You can't just elect to shout people out because you like them. Like, that's not how this works. You have to wait till I ask you to do things. And, like, to be fair, I do think mods also kind of, depending on what the streamer's preferences are, I personally think mods also have a hand in creating the vibes of the chat. And I like being part of the content creation in that way when I mod for other people. And I like it when I kind of get to have that role a little bit. So when I'm looking for mods for myself, I'm also looking for people who I think would create the vibes in chat that I'm looking for. As being someone who would be kind of like an example. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't mod people who are not creating the energy that I want to support. Because then the other chatters would see that and they'd be like, well, the mods get to say that. And I don't want it to be like that. I want the mods to reinforce behavior that I actually want to see in chat. Because, like, the streamer that I mod for, my Oshi, their mods tend to bully them. Which, you know, like, is fine for them. They don't mind it. They were specific in selecting their mods. But, I would mind that. So I wouldn't mod people who tend to do that, just because that's not the energy I want to see in my chat, and I wouldn't want the general chat to think that that was okay just because the mods were doing it. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a lot of stuff to consider when you're thinking of, putting people in positions of power. More so than just, can they run the tools of the chat? It's more than that, in my opinion. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Oh. Caldera time! Yippee-ki-yay! Here we go. Ugh! Oh, Lord. After you play Peak so many times, yeeting yourself off the cliff doesn't faze you as much. That used to really scare me, and that doesn't. Also, there's an ad starting in like a minute, so I'll read your message after that, Danny. We'll touch base after the ad. For the Caldera specifically, I've really been wanting to get, I think I need to reorganize some stuff. There we go. This is optimal Caldera item management. But for the Caldera, I've really been wanting to get the life grab things, and I just haven't been seeing them. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, this mountain's not super bad for speedruns. This has been pretty smooth. Dare I say. Dare I say, this mountain has been smooth. But also it's because I ran it once yesterday. You know, got a little bit of that insider experience. I thought the mountain already reset, and I guess it hasn't. We might get to play a second mountain, though, because I don't remember exactly when it resets. It might be resetting as we speak. But yeah, yesterday I got a time of, it's so funny how you can just run on the lava when you're fortified. That is incredibly fun. When you're a speedrunner too, part of the speedrunning strats is really getting to know how long your power-ups last for. You know? That's important to the speedrun strats. Because if you don't know how long you're fortified for and you're walking in lava for too long, that could be pretty bad. You know? Pretty bad. But yeah, there's some good lines here for a speedrun. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think there's enough time to really perfect this mountain for speedrunning, unfortunately, but I'm starting to see the lines. It's doable for sure. Maybe like a sub 50 time might be a reasonable expectation. I don't know if a sub 40 time is really the books. And then they all get cooked. So I eat one, and I hold on to two others, and we move on. Uh-oh. Ah! Okay. Ad for free gas? What the frick? Okay, hold up. Back when your nickname was still Coffee Cheesecake, you followed a streamer, she made a joke about eating you. You got banned because the mod didn't like the attention you got. Yeah, that's another thing. You really don't want to have mods that are gonna, like, make those kinds of calls by themselves. Because that's annoying. That was one thing that my Oshi was like talking to me about when they modded me. They were like, you know, just like follow my lead. I'm still not super good at like following their lead because sometimes I think something's okay and they're like, no, that's not okay. And sometimes I think something's not okay and they're like, yeah, that's fine. Because someone used the word cuck in their stream and I was like, ooh. And they're like, no, that's fine. And I was like, okay. You the boss. Ugh. Shower life form expunged. Good, good. Love that for you, man. Love that for you. What you said about mods and chat vibes makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That's just personally, like, how I think about it now. Because it's easy to just want to mod your friends. And then it really sucks when your friends, like, don't have the same professional standards that you do. And then it's just like, you know? Just because you like people doesn't mean that they're the best people for every situation. And I'm really trying to start thinking about that more critically and not just feeling like I owe people placements just because we're friends or we're friendly. I don't think that's the way that has to be at all. And I think it's perfectly reasonable to be like, yeah, no, we're super chill, but I don't want to collab with you while streaming, but I'll play games offline with you. You know, because you just know, like, what the energies are. And you're like, yeah, I would definitely, like, I wouldn't associate myself with you if I didn't, you know, like you in some way. But just in this particular context, we're not really compatible. And I think that's totally fine. I think people need to be less sensitive to not being, selected in every context. I don't think that's a reasonable, expectation that you will be eligible in every context for every role. I know very well that in some people's life I'm just kind of like, you know, a viewer, and in some people's life I'm a friend, and I think that's perfectly appropriate, and I wouldn't want more from those people than like what they are comfortable labeling me as. And I think as long as people are, you know where they stand in terms of that, then it's fine. Sometimes that's the hardest conversation to have, though, is because those don't always line up, and that's real, and that kind of sucks when you want to be a more important part of someone's life than they're really wanting to assign to you. But at the end of the day, you know, if that's a mismatch, why would you want to give more importance to someone who doesn't feel the same way as you about that? Like, I feel like in those situations, you should just default to whatever the lowest common denominator is. You know, so that everyone's spending their time and energy in ways that are maximizing, like, their value. Why do you open on that side, stupid? Okay, put that away. Hello? Okay. Oh, Scennique, Sababu, Shababong. Me looking at my friend after she said the most outrageous thing about both of us banned from the game. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're trying to... if you're trying to not get banned from a game, there's certain people that even though you love those people, you're like, yeah, no, I don't want to play with you. I would actually like to stay a member of this game. Oh, platonic vampire. That's a great term. I've never heard that before, but that resonates a lot. I know exactly what that means. And yeah, it's rough. Because sometimes some people have, like, social anxiety or, like, abandonment anxiety. And at the end of the day, that's really not... Like, you can only be so sympathetic to it before you have to be like, buddy, that's really, like, that's your thing to manage, not mine. And if we can't have a nice friendship without you feeling like I owe you something, then we're not going to have a nice friendship. Boundaries! 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 But yeah, if someone feels more like casual with me than I would have felt with them, that's fine. I'm trying to let some of that stuff go and allow people to make their own choices with what feels like suits them best. Because I think that's just healthier. And I think trying to force yourself into situations that are not amiable for everyone just ends up sad. And is not worth your time. Don't do that. Spend your time in places where it's mutual. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy what there is to be enjoyed in those places that are not as mutual, but don't expect more than what they're willing to give, because then you'd just be disappointed. Hi, Kyrie. Welcome in. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year! This is where I don't know where to go. I think I'm gonna go up behind me, though. That rhymed. You're more the golden retriever side, just happy to be here? Yeah, that's a good way to be. I like golden retriever friends. I have a couple of those. I prefer cat friends, though. I like friendship. My ultimate comfort zone in a friendship is, like, we can not talk for, like, a month and then just pick it up. You know? Like, we can kind of just do our own thing and then, like, hang out and then go back to doing our own thing. Like, that's my favorite. where the feelings are mutual. The interaction is parallel, but it's not constant. Yes, I like these guys. Beep-bee. The bit about not every friend needs to fill every role for you makes sense to me. Yeah, because I have some friends that I would, like, definitely want to stream with because we have the same, like, professional standards, and then I have some friends that it's like we're only gonna play offline, you know, and that's totally fine. I have friends that I would, like, when I got invited to do the sworn playtest, I had friends I'm like, I definitely would invite these people to playtest this with me, and these other guys I definitely wouldn't invite. And that's totally fine. I have people that I would want to hang out with IRL, and people that I probably would just want to continue being internet buddies with. And that's fine. It's all fine, you know? Okay, let's see. Where can I get to? And that you aren't always going to be the right person in a particular role someone else needs. That too! Because I've also had friends who were just really emotionally needy, and I could not fill that role, and it really drove a wedge between us because they, like, needed emotional support, and I could not be there for them in that way. And I tried to be really, like, thoughtful and accommodating, but it got to a point where it was like one of us is constantly... It feels like one of us is constantly being selfish because it's like my needs or your needs. And then it was like, yeah, this isn't working. So I had to tell them straight up. I'm like, I cannot be here for you in this manner, and you really need to find someone else who could be here for you in this manner. Like, because I'm just not available like that. And there were other things going on in that situation. But yeah. When you try to... It's like putting all your eggs in one basket, you know? Like, when you try to expect things from people that they just cannot... Like, some of my friends just kind of can't keep to a schedule. And I'm probably one of those people right now just because I get sick so often. But yeah, when you're dealing with that, you can't just be like, I expect you to be here on time. You just have to, like, know what they're gonna be able to give and not get upset when that doesn't happen. You know? Because then you're just disappointed all the time. Sunday afternoon lemon wisdom? Yeah! I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, though. Like, end of the year, I've been thinking about this a lot. Because of some of the stuff that happened to me this year. With people and, like, expectations not lining up and that causing huge rifts. Because there was someone I was friends with, and it ended up being really toxic for me. And we had a really nasty, splitting. And because the friendship... Because their other friends... didn't feel the same way about the way they were treating people. Because they did, honestly, they treated me, differently than they treated some of their other friends, and I just did not like the way I was being treated or the things that they were expecting from me. And I felt like the friendship was becoming really one-sided, and they were being very selfish and were not reflecting on their actions. Because their other friends weren't seeing that side of them, their other friends got really mad at me like I was being a toxic person, and I'm like, no. It's like, the other thing that happens is you're not always the same person to everyone you interact with, and it's, oh yay, sub 50-minute time. This is a good mountain for speedrunning. You're not always the same person to everyone you interact with, and you shouldn't expect that the people you interact with are the same to everyone they interact with. Because that's how, that's a lot of times how manipulation and abuse happens. Because they're really super nice to you, but they're treating someone else horribly. And I ended up being the person in that, situation. Oh my goodness, Digi! Hi! Welcome in, Digi. Yeah, so my friendship with this person ended up being really toxic, and nobody would believe me because they were like, they don't treat me that way. And I was like, yeah, I know, which is why I've never said anything to you about it, because I think it's perfectly valid that they're nice to you, but they were not nice to me. And so I've just been reflecting a lot on, like, friendships and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate and what I should be expecting from other people or not expecting, and what I'm willing to allow other people to expect from me. Yeah, that situation taught me a lot. Danny, you dragging your introvert friend out of his house every weekend, the classic. You're a yapper with ADHD. The introvert's worst nightmare. Not really. One of my other big pet peeves with, like, social interaction is, people misclassifying social anxiety as introversion or shyness as introversion. Those are not the same thing. And as an introvert, it makes me really annoyed when people are like, I wish I could be more social, but I'm such an introvert. And, okay, babe, you're not, that's not your introvert. You might be an introvert, but if you can't be more social, that sounds like social anxiety to me. Those can be mutually exclusive, okay? You don't have to have social anxiety and be an introvert. I'm an introvert without social anxiety. I have, some social anxieties, but it doesn't stem from my introversion. It stems from my autism and just, like, not knowing the correct way to be, quote unquote, correct way to behave at any given moment in time. And therefore, because people constantly treat me like I'm doing things wrong, that gives me social anxiety, but that's not, I don't have social anxiety. Like, I'm not afraid to be social. As an introvert, I really enjoy being social. What makes you an introvert is that being social, just zaps you of energy. So when I want to be social, I have to plan it out, knowing what I have to do for the rest of the day, or I'm going to be exhausted and pissy and, like, not a fun person to be around. So if you're classifying yourself as an introvert, but you're constantly, like, wanting to be around people, but you just feel, like, stressed, I don't think you're an introvert. I think you're an extrovert with social anxiety. I think a lot of the times people who say they're introverts are just extroverts with social anxiety. Because if you feel this need to be social constantly, that's not introversion. I do not feel a need to be social constantly. I'm very moisturized and, you know, at peace when I'm in my lane doing my own thing at home. That's the biggest mark of an introvert to me, is when you can go long periods of time without being social and feel totally fine. If you're, like, you know, like, sweating from the lack of social interaction. I watched this happen to my non-platonic roommate. He, like, gets visibly pissy if he's gone too long without hanging out with people. I don't get that way. I can go much longer time frames without hanging out with people, because that's really the only difference. Introverts get energy from being alone. Extroverts get energy from being around other people. That doesn't mean that extroverts need to be around other people all the time. That doesn't mean that introverts don't need to be social, okay? Extroverts still need to have alone time, and introverts still need to be social because that's a human need. But extroverts just, like, it drains the bar. I mean, introverts, it drains the bar. Extroverts, it fills the bar. Your social anxiety is unable to handle silence. You feel like you need to keep up a conversation. Yeah, that is a good example of social anxiety, feeling the pressure of not letting a conversation, like, mellow. I'm trying to let go of a lot of that stuff. Also, yes, I am a teacher. I'm an educator. And I think things through very thoroughly because I don't like speaking my mind about things that I feel like I'm not qualified to have a say in. But yeah, I've learned a lot recently. I think the biggest thing that I'm taking away from 2025 in terms of, like, relationships is I was very apologetic and eager to seek validation from people, and kind of be like a people pleaser. And that is something that stems back to autism, when you don't know these like built-in social rules. So you end up, autism takes a lot of routes. And sometimes some autistic children, like, check out of the social norms completely and they just kind of do their own thing and become the quote-unquote weird kids. But the autistic kids who want to fit in and end up doing really heavy masking also kind of end up becoming people pleasers because they're trying to, like, fit in. So I kind of want the people pleaser route, and I'm still seeing places in my life where I really need to give that up, and places where I am very apologetic in situations where I was not in the wrong. And that's something I don't want to keep doing because I think it only harms my ability to let go of things when people are clearly, like, wanting to be let go of. Like, I tend to try to hold on to relationships because I had this preconceived idea that having negative energy between myself and anyone else was, like, unacceptable, and I should always try to have, like, a positive rapport with people. Like if there was any bad blood, I was always the one who was reaching out and trying to fix stuff. Like, it grated on my soul having bad blood between me and other people, and I'm trying to let that go because, like I'm saying, some people just don't vibe. Like, it's just not going to happen. And I think what creates the bad blood is when you try to force that relationship to keep going and it really needs to not go anywhere. So I'm really trying to be more comfortable with letting go of situations that are not working and not feeling like that's an inherent flaw in myself, and that if I just worked harder, or if I'd been a different person, it would have worked out. I'm trying to let that go and just let people be who they are and not expect myself to change or people to change in situations where it's just mutually beneficial to let it go. And it's been really interesting to see other people, after I've kind of let that go in myself and I've just been like, yeah, just let people do their thing. It's been really interesting to see other people fall into that trap and then be uncomfortable when I've tried to let things go and they don't want to let things go. So there's still stuff I'm grappling with, but I think at the beginning of this year, I'm just in a really healthy place with, like, who I am and how I feel like interacting with other people, and how I'm more willing to preserve my self-respect than I used to be. I used to be more of, like, a groveler, and I would be like, I'm so sorry. But now I'm kind of more in a place of, like, nah, man, that was your bad, and I'm not going to apologize for your behavior. You know what I mean? I think we should be respecting ourselves more than just apologizing because we feel bad that something happened if it was not our fault. Ridley, your introversion drives your friends insane. You never bother anybody about anything, never catch up, never ask to hang out. Yeah, that is also something I'm working on. I'm trying to reach out in ways that I feel like are things, like, I'm trying to not be that. I'm trying to keep track of which of my friends are not black cats and don't vibe with that kind of interaction, so that I'm at least reaching out a minimum amount so that they feel like I am putting effort into the friendship. Because some people, that's like a deal breaker. If you never reach out, they're like, yeah, they hate me. So for those people, I'm trying to do that for them. But for most of my black cat friends, it's really nice. And we can just like, whenever we feel like it, we'll reach out. And that doesn't mean I don't want to reach out to those people who like need it more often. It's just not something I would personally be doing unless they needed it. And I think that's totally fine. I don't think you have to want to do things. I've seen this toxic thing happen, especially in dating relationships, where it's often like, well, I shouldn't have to ask. You should just want to do that for me. And I think that's the most toxic BS ever. It's like, no, they don't need to. I think the fact that they're putting an effort to do something they don't want to do should make you feel better than if they wanted to do it and were therefore benefiting from it themselves. They're literally going out of their way to do something only you benefit from. And that's not good enough for you. So yeah, I don't feel sour when people are like, yeah, I'm only doing it because you want me to do it. I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you. So yeah, sometimes when I reach out to people, it's not because I really want to, but I do want to preserve the friendship, and I know that they feel good when I do that. So I'm doing it for them. I'm trying to make a friend. Ridley, you say yes to anything they ask when they do want to hang out if you have the energy, but you're never the initiator. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Except for I also don't say yes to a lot of stuff because it's not a good time, or I'm sick, or, you know. I'm dying. Hold on, I need a cough drop. Yeah. In the famous words of Elsa from Frozen, let it go. Ridley, thankfully you've never had a situation where you let something go and someone else doesn't. But that sounds really challenging. Yeah. Yeah. You just can't, like, predict what other people are going to do or how they're going to feel about certain things. And you need to give people space to be who they are. But if they're not being respectful, I'm okay with dropping people. You know what I mean? Like, at bare minimum, if you can't be respectful, it's like we have nothing else to say to each other. You know, I don't care how much fun we have when the vibes are good. Like, if you can't be respectful, it's like, I also want my friendships to be for better or for worse, right? Like, I don't want to hang out with people where it's like super fun, but then when we have conflict, it's like unresolvable. You know what I mean? And something else that I read that I'm also trying to hang on to for 2026 is let me go over here because we're having a moment. This idea of don't create permanent consequences to temporary issues. Like, if it's something that's a temporary issue, you do not need to go all out in, like, because this is something I struggle with. I end up being, like, really, like, future forward thinking. And I'm like, well, if I don't deal with this now, then it's just going to continue being a problem. And then I end up initiating permanent consequences to temporary situations. And I'm trying not to do that anymore. So I'm really trying to be, like, more introspective of, like, is this something that I should be, you know, calling a day on this friendship on, or is this something that we can kind of just move past for today, and then, like, we can see if this becomes a more, like, ongoing behavior that then maybe it's time to, like, twilight the friendship. You know what I mean? I'm trying to not make definitive cuts before I really know what's going on. Because I've been known to do that, and it's not helpful. It's not very forgiving to try to preemptively assess situations and then act accordingly too far in advance. Annie, you should have inferred this without me telling you. Makes me so upset. Yeah. I'm very much like, can we please communicate directly? And in some people, with some people, I just haven't been able to communicate with directly because a lot of people find direct communication to be confrontational. And then you can't say what you really mean because they'll just immediately become defensive. I have a really hard time interacting with people like that because I, in general, try to say what I mean, and not like mince, like, I don't have the social ability to like beat around the bush, because if I try to do that and like passive aggressively suggest the problem or whatever, like I'm not even going to do it correctly because I don't have the social capacity to figure out how to do that. So yeah, I try to use direct communication, and some people just like really that's not their thing, and that stresses them out, and then I have a hard time with those people. Woo! Your sister is too powerful. Apparently her roommate's boyfriend moved in, and weekly they have a meeting to discuss how they each feel about stuff the others did that week. Whoa! Whoa! They have a relationship check-in meeting every week? That's cool. That's cool if it works for them. I don't know if that would work for me. I mean, that definitely wouldn't work for my non-platonic roommate. He doesn't like having things scheduled so much. So that would stress him out. But yeah, I think comfortable open communication is the best way forward. But yeah. Yeah. So 2025, we loved, we lost, we gained, we learned, and we moved on. So yeah, I'm trying to go into 2026 because one of the hardest things about 2025 and some of the friendships I was in is when I think this is really important to be said because I see victims of toxic situations not be taken seriously. And as someone who's been through quite a few of those situations, let me just say that when you're in a toxic situation, it's very hard to identify. And I ended up in a toxic friendship for like 2 years, and I was constantly stressed out, and I didn't want to be around this person, but I constantly felt guilty about it, and I felt like that was a poor reflection on me, and I could not see that it was their behavior and things that they were doing in places where they just refused to meet me halfway. So I went through that whole friendship just feeling like I was the bad friend, especially since they would not take accountability for their own behavior. And we constantly had to talk about things that they were doing that made me uncomfortable, and they'd be like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But they wouldn't do that one specific thing again. And then later they would do something just like it, but in like a slightly different context. And then we talk about it again, and they'd be like, well, I won't do that again. And it's like, this shouldn't keep coming up. You know what I mean? At the end of that friendship, I ended up phrasing it to one person like, I shouldn't have to be the only reason this person experiences character growth in their life. Because that's what it felt like after a while. Like, I was just constantly, like, trying to talk to them and trying to figure out where our boundaries were and trying to, like, be like, hey, I didn't like that, and blah, 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 blah. And then they constantly made me feel like I was always the person with a problem. I was always the person who was, like, coming after them for something. I was always making them feel bad. So then, after I finally, like took the guillotine to that friendship, because it was a messy ending to that friendship. After that, then you start, like, being retrospective about it, and then you're like, holy cow, I was being manipulated real bad. So yeah, you gotta give people in those situations a lot of grace, because I constantly see this stuff where people try to come forward and be like, yeah, this person treated me really badly, and you know, I just wanna clear the air about that. And then people go, well, you should have known that was going on. Why did you let that go on for so long if you knew you were being treated badly? And a lot of the times it's because people in those situations don't realize it. Because generally speaking, like, that's how manipulation works. That's why it works. It's because it's manipulative. Like, you don't realize it's never like outright malicious. So it's very hard to identify when you're experiencing it that something is going wrong. And typically people in those situations often feel a lot of personal guilt and they think they're the problem, which is what was happening to me. I thought I was the problem. So yeah, retrospect is 2020, as they say. And I have gained a lot of retrospect. Whoa! Danny, you lost one of your best friends because you cared way too much, like not giving space. It was hard to understand at the time, but now you get it. Yeah, that's a hard one. When you realize you were... Wait, what did you say earlier? The social vampire? What did you say earlier? I really like that. Stop it, ads. I'm snoozing! What did you say earlier? I really like that. But yeah, sometimes I was definitely the problem. And the other thing I want to say about people who are ultimately victims of situations is I don't think there are many situations where the victim was totally innocent. And I think you have to be willing to accept where your behavior was not helpful in a situation, even if you were ultimately the one, like, majorly wronged by the situation. I don't think there's ever a situation where one of the parties is completely blameless. And there was definitely stuff that I did in that friendship that was not good on my part. And because I was being reflective on that and taking responsibility for that, I felt like I was always the problem. But yeah, I don't expect victims of situations to be totally blameless, because I don't think that's really how that works. But I'm sorry you lost your friend, Danny. 2025 kind of blew chunks systematically, but you met some great people and accomplished a lot of personal goals. Yeah! Like, if I look at all the accomplishments I posted in the announcements channel and Discord, it's like, damn, I did a lot, and that stuff was super fun. So, you know, you kind of just gotta look past some of the bad stuff sometimes and really just focus on that good stuff. I think the other thing I'm gonna try to do this year is really just try to do more to celebrate the cool stuff that happens so that that stands out larger in my brain. But yeah, you guys take that. You take that great nugget of wisdom and you roll with that. I should not be the sole source of character growth in your story. Yeah. If you feel like you're interacting with someone who ultimately ends up being super immature and you're constantly having to talk to them about their behavior, and even though they seem apologetic, they just never really change as a person, fucking rip the rug out from underneath that friendship. That's not a good friendship. That's gonna eat away at you. And I do think there's something to be said about friendships where maybe you kind of start in the same place. Because definitely at the beginning of that friendship, like, we were kind of in the same place, but then I matured as a person and they did not. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of stayed where they were. So I outgrew them. And I think you have to be willing to let yourself outgrow people and not feel responsible for bringing them with you. You know what I mean? Because that's just not where they wanted to go. And that's their choice. And I'm trying to figure out a way that I would phrase that to a person without it sounding like really shitty to them. But it's kind of just like, yeah, I don't think we're moving in the same direction anymore. And I don't really want to... I'm not really looking to put more into this friendship than what we have done so far. Because we're not going the same direction. Our paths are splitting. Oh, Platonic Vampire. Yeah, thank you, Ridley. Yeah, I like Platonic Vampire. I'm going to try to remember that. Danny, you're still learning to not share TMI, like how you can't stop talking about your toes. Here's the other thing. It's so individualized, right? Like, what works in one friendship but doesn't work in another friendship. I try to not become a totally different person when I'm interacting with different people. But there's definitely a level of, like, talking about toes in this friendship is totally okay. Totally okay. But talking about toes in this friendship, not okay. And that's what I mean, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, at some point, you do have to know which friends are okay to go to with which things. And, like, respect those boundaries. You can't be like, well, I can talk about toes with Johnny, so why can't I talk about toes with Billy? You know, because Billy doesn't want to talk about toes. And you got to respect Billy for that. Ruby. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Ah. But yeah. I live and learn so I can reflect on it and tell you guys what I concluded. Yeah, I did it for you guys. I had a really bad friend group breakup for you guys. I mean, I can say I got surgery on my feet, but then I sent a picture of my toes. Buddy. Sending unsolicited pictures. That's kind of always a no-no. You change so little talking to different people. I feel like I don't change that much talking to different people. But then, like, I, even just hear the way my voice changes when I say hello to certain people, when they enter my chat, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, we have a kind of a different relationship, you know, and it's not a bad thing. As long as you're being authentic in every relationship, the authentic you doesn't always look the same. And I think that's something that some people aren't comfortable with. Like, they feel like being authentic means you look the same in every context. I don't think that's authenticity. I think authenticity is giving yourself room to change to fit the context in the way that makes you most comfortable. You know? Your masks are more like a single line of face paint. Live and learn is a Sonic quote. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Our hearts are a museum of those who passed by our life. Here's the thing I think is really funny. You know, like, if you ever think about what someone's last memory of you was, and then think about how you've changed as a person since then, like, it causes me to cringe a little bit. Like, oh, I've never spoken to that person again, and that's who they just will always think I am. Like, I'm not that person anymore. Like, the last time you spoke to someone was when you were, like, 12, and you're like, ew, that's the person they thought I am. Ruby, by the way, you forgot about it, but you did it. What did you do? What did you do, Ruby? What have you done? Ridley, you've been obsessed with this Sonic music cover artist the past week and a half. Put it in the Discord. Let me listen to it. You know what I think is really funny? I've never played Persona, but I really like the music from the Persona games. And I actually do listen to it a lot. Harothlem? 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 What is the meaning of this? I'm hoping that means that you came up with a design for me, and not that you stole my idea and made a character without me. It's in Final Fantasy XIV. Okay. Yeah, because if you guys don't know, in Final Fantasy XIV, I have my main, which is a Makoti, and her name is xCheekyLemonx. And then I have my first alt, which... my main is in the EU server, and she's a Makoti, and her name's xCheekyLemonx. And then I have an alt in the AU server. Wait, in the NA server. Excuse me. And she's a Lalafell, and her name is SqueakyLemon. And then I want to make another alt in the Asian server. So I have an alt on every server. And I want to make her a Hrothgal. And I want to call her Beefy Lemon. You only did for the meme that one time you made a VTuber Lem long time ago. I was tall. I was tall. What the heck? What the heckity heck? Me seeing my friend use my jokes on his GF even after not talking to each other for a year. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you never really know how you left an impression on someone, and then that's just like who they are in who you are in their brain forever. It's like, oh, ew. You have a lemon in EU, but I think I forgot to delete it after memeing you. Oh, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that now, actually. Yeah, you came and visited me, and I was like, what the heck is this? You made a VTuber accurate Hrothgal Lem. Have you shared a picture with me? Well, I'm gonna get rid of Peak. I was gonna play the mountain again, but I don't think I will. And I think it's probably New Mountain now. So I could play the next mountain. But I don't think I will. I think I need to keep the stream short because I'm sick. I gotta be responsible. I am opening up Discord though. Drop your pictures in the chat. Ooh, music! Yay! Am I gonna get bonked by DMCA if I listen to this on stream? Let's listen to like 2 seconds. Okay, that's fire. I'm gonna listen to the rest of that later. Thanks, Ridley! Okay, let's look at this. Oh my gosh, this is so cute! What is this hairstyle? I love it! Golly! And we're all doing philosophy talk? Yeah, I know. This is so cute! Also, there's an ad starting in like a minute that I can't stop. I'm gonna download this picture and I'm gonna show it to you guys for anyone who's like not in the Discord. Gal! This is so cute! I can't believe you made me! It's all I've ever wanted! I learned... I gotta make this smaller, hold on. I learned that there's a way to load in images into Discord at a certain size, but I forgot how to do it, and I need to look it up again. Look at that! It's me! That hairstyle is so cute! You found a hatched egg? What the heckity heck? It's from the Mog Station? I'm willing. I feel that. Is this hairstyle available for every race? Like, could I get this for my Makoti main? Because I like this hairstyle. That is very cute. And that is definitely on point. You did great. I'm very impressed with this. I like the face and everything. And the colors you picked. On point. This looks so cute. You were late by several days, but you did say you would do it. Oh my goodness. I love it. It looks so good. It looks so good. With the Christmas outfit and everything. We're twins. We're twins. I'm gonna take a picture of my Discord. I'm in my stream. Hold on. I'm trying to pose. Oh wait, I'm gonna make my face cute for this. Yeah, we're so cute. Yay! Yay! Okay, I need to shower, eat, and get groceries before it gets dark at like 4 p.m. Yeah, I know. Holy heckity heck. You did the joy emote, but it does look like it's a selfie. Yeah, I know. It's so cute. Which there is a selfie emote, by the way. Yeah, I know! I think I got that emote. It was part of like an Instapics collab or something like that. Or it's something different and I'm not... I think the Instapics one makes you like take a picture of something, not like do a selfie. I think I'm thinking of something different. Whew. Yeah, that's photography. Yeah. You right. But this is super cute. It's from the Endwalker content for the selfie. Oh, I'm not there yet. That's gonna take some time. I do have bad news, though. Well, actually, I have really great news, but it's bad news for Ruby. Here's the bad news. But it's tradable? Oh, really? Okay, here's the bad news. Unfortunately, Ruby, you have done a lot of work that might be for nothing. Well, not for nothing. Like, this is super cute. But, if you guys perceived on, Twitter, I made an announcement about how I am going to be... where's my folder? The frick? Oh, here it is. I made an announcement on Twitter. I am really behind on my Discord announcements just because, like, my Twitter announcements I could schedule. I can't freaking schedule posts in Discord. So you guys just end up not knowing things until later unless you're, like, paying attention to my Twitter. But, you saw my Hrothgal from July 30th. You just claimed you would make the most lemon Hrothgal that ever lemon, and I had to. Oh, no, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. This is what I posted. It's gonna be big. Yep. Boom! I forget how to make images come in here and not be ginormagungus. It's fine. You know, we're not worried about it. I posted this image on my socials. And I announced that I am finally doing my lore accurate debut in April this year. So this whole look, hold on, let me change my outfit. I'm doing a little outfit swap. My whole casual look was because I tried to re-debut with my lore accurate form, and that re-debut didn't end up working out because of certain things that just didn't line up. But I was like, I had been using, hold on, let's back up even further. I have been looking like, I don't even have her. Oh, here we go. I've been looking like this. And this model is so cute and I love her. But I had issues with her. Like, first of all, anytime I would try to commission art, they would always make my skin gray. And I would have to tell them, hey, actually my skin's tan. Like, she wasn't it. And she was too, like, cozy cafe for what I really wanted to do. So I was trying to re-debut, and I couldn't re-debut the way I wanted to. I made all these announcements, and then it didn't happen, and I felt really guilty about it. But I didn't want to keep using this model, so I made a temporary design change to this model so that I could, you know, get my creative energy back and get to work with something new and, you know, feel re-energized in my content creation and be able to make new stream overlays and, like, not feel stagnant with what I was working on. But I've always been, like, chomping at the bit, foaming at the mouth to, like, go to my lore accurate design. And I'm finally ready to do that this year. So in April, we are going to move over to lore accurate lem. So yeah, you guys have seen this model before because I was posting her everywhere. When I was getting ready to debut her, but that didn't happen. But I love her. I feel so comfortable in myself when I look like this. And I'm really excited to move to this. So when I make my hair off, gal, it'll probably be after my re-debut. And I won't have the hair buns anymore. But I do want that hairstyle because I want it for my Lalafell. Because I think that hairstyle is so cute. That hair is also in Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, where's my Final Fantasy 14 folder? But yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out with me while I had my AU version of myself for a while. Because we're finally gonna move to the lore accurate version. Which folder is it? Hold on, I'm looking for a picture. It's not here. I want to show you the hairstyle that I already found in Final Fantasy 14 that I really like, that I'm probably going to use for this character. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Hi, Chris Wildcat. Meow. Meow. Hello, Lemon. Hi. Is that a ponytail? Yeah, I have a ponytail. I love it. I feel so cute. I feel so cute. So yeah, Happy New Year. I'm excited to move to this model. We're going to do it in April, guys. So you got to love the buns while you can, because she's going to go away. Not permanently, but for the most part, she's going to go away. Because I really like this look. But the Final Fantasy 14 hair that I think really matches this model right now that I've used before, and Ruby might disagree with me. You might be thinking of a different hairstyle, but this is the hairstyle I really liked that I think looks good for my current model. I want to make the hair. You see the vision? You see the vision? But yeah, that basically all the effort I've been putting into looking for clothing items for my casual outfit is kind of like lost cause. Yeah, that's not available for Heroth. Damn. That's okay, though. We'll figure it out. I I did put, like, my best attempt Hrothgal in the Discord at some point, which Ruby referenced. Oh, here it is. It's not that far away. But I do like this hairstyle as well. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this. Here's the other. Here was my attempt. At my Hrothgar. With this hair. I think it works. Ching! I think it works. Mostly, kind of. I'd have to go through the settings again. But I like the settings that you picked for the skin colors. I think that looks really good. I like it. Because mine, I don't know. I don't know what I was going for. It ended up being too light. But that might just be like the different lighting map or whatever. That annoys me so bad that you end up looking so different in different lighting. You can't remember what hairs are available for that race. You've been out of the game for a long time. So have I. Not really, but kind of, yeah. I haven't played for months, and I'm paying for that game. So I need to play it at some point. But yeah, I don't know if we're making the Hrothgal at any point soon. Because I'm kind of trying to get back to plot and, like, doing our story runs and stuff. Get through the ending phase, whatever the Realm Reborn 7.2 or whatever those patches are that are technically, you're not in the next expansion yet, and you're still kind of doing Realm Reborn. I'm still doing that. I'm in Crystal Tower stuff right now. I need to keep playing. You know that feeling? Yeah. Yeah, the post patches. Yeah, I'm doing post patches. I'm not even really out of Realm Reborn yet. I mean, we celebrated me finishing a Realm Reborn because technically I finished it. I got the longest end credits in a video game ever. Remember you guys telling me that. Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn is the longest end credits in a video game ever. Which it technically isn't. Technically it is now second place, but they were really freaking long. We didn't sit for the whole thing. But yeah, so I technically beat A Realm Reborn. I'm just still being rebirthed, I guess. I don't know. And I was in them. Oh, yeah, that's right. So exciting. But yeah, with this little discussion of Final Fantasy, I'm gonna go back to Christmas Lem. Because I like using that model, and I don't get to use it often. And I'm gonna continue using it until I don't want to use it anymore. So, sorry guys, we might be doing Christmas all the way up through January. Because I didn't get to do Christmas with you guys. And I want to do Christmas. I like this outfit. I like swiveling my head around and making the little hat pom-pom go. Blah, 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 blah. It brings me joy. Realm Reborn, isn't there like 5 stories after that, or is it more now? I don't even know. I'm so out of the loop with whatever the frick goes on in Final Fantasy 14. I just wait for people to tell me what's up, and then I and then I do whatever they say. You know how it is. Okay, let me find. I'm gonna go rest up and not like overexert. Oh, it's almost been 2 hours. Golly. I gotta sneeze really badly. Ah! You're gonna do Ultimate Lem? The solution is bald? Sure. Why not? Hold on, I'm looking for someone to raid. Oh my goodness! People I love are playing games. Interessante. First drop for Overwatch detected! No way. I done it? Oh my goodness. Okay. I could raid us to somebody that I know. Or I could look for a random Final Fantasy XIV player and send you guys there. What do you want? Do you want to see one of my friends, or do you want to see Final Fantasy XIV? It's the new year. I'll let you guys pick. Friends or 14? Because I don't got any friends who are playing 14 right now. I have people who are playing Minecraft and Infinity Nikki. Arai Callisto is on Final Fantasy 14. I'm not technically looking for recommendations for people to raid. I just want to know if you guys want me to raid a 14, raid into a 14 stream or raid to a friend stream. Because if we raid into a 14 stream, I'm picking whoever the frick I want. And usually I pick based on what their models look like. Usually I pick based on whether or not I think they're pretty. Let me just peruse. What about the greatest fisher that ever lived? What are you saying? Introducing Clip Timeline. Clips that you create now have an edit timeline of 90 seconds to catch the right moment. Oh my goodness, thanks. Get out of here. Okay, so hypothetically, if we raid into a 14... Oh, there's more people playing Peak! Playing the new mountain. Final Fantasy 14 Fisher? What the? Hold on. I'm gonna do a sneak. Final Fantasy 14 category. New tab. Who's streaming? Who's live? What designs we got going on? Oh my goodness, I've never rated this person. But I really like their design. I kind of want to rate them. Because I see them on social media a lot. And I think I might follow them on social media. Because sometimes I follow people because I like their design. But then I don't, like, go catch up with their streaming stuff. Yeah! Yeah! Get this out. Get out! Go away! Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna rate a Final Fantasy 14 account just because somebody that I kind of know is streaming and I haven't ever said hi to them. This is so exciting! Gotta meet a new friend in the new year! Okay, thank you guys for coming to hang out with me. I'm really grateful that you guys like hanging out with me and that you came back. You came back! Oh wait, I gotta cry. Hold on. I choose properly. No, that's anger. You came back! Okay, we're done with that. I'm gonna do this! Hi, Jay. Thanks for lurking. Glad I made it in time. Yeah! Happy New Year, guys! Happy New Year, guys! But yeah. So, like I said at the beginning, probably gonna stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday for this upcoming week cycle. Not really sure. I am kind of sick. Depends on how quickly I recuperate, I suppose. But yeah, this was great. I'm really glad that I'm sorry that you guys didn't get any advance notice if you wanted to, like, be here at the beginning of a stream or something. But I just needed to hit the go live. You know what I mean? I just needed to do it and not think about it or it wouldn't have happened. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you are coming with us on this raid, what's my raid message right now? Let's check. Oh, cute. Sure. Probably won't be using this raid message for too much longer. So if you want to grab the iteration of raid message that is current before it gets changed, this is one of your last opportunities to do so. I'm really excited for the re-debut that's going to happen this year. There's so much going into it, guys. You're going to love it. I promise. It's going to be excellent. I'm very excited. But there's a bunch of fun stuff that's going to be happening between now and then as well. I'm cooking. I'm already cooking. It feels so good to be cooking again. But yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Let's start the raid. And I will see you next time. Bye!